Hi, welcome to Polyphonic Press. I'm Jeremy Boyd.
I'm John Van Dyke.
And today we're going to be talking about the evolution of classic rock. Here we go. Alright, so this is an article that we came across. Basically, this guy has heard Green Day's American Idiot on a classic rock station, and it got him thinking that, classic rock isn't what it used to be like 5-10 years ago. Basically, when I was growing up, when I was like a teenager, classic rock was bands like Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, The Who, basically stuff from the 60s and 70s. But now it's started to incorporate stuff from the 80s and the 90s, and now stuff after 2000 is considered classic rock, which is kind of strange when you think about it, that the timeline doesn't really add up. But I guess this is what happens when music is around long enough that, when a piece of music is around for 20 years, it starts to become classic rock. And bands like REM, Pearl Jam, and Nirvana are now considered old bands, and now it's kind of strange when you think about it, because when I think about classic rock, I think about like 70s big guitars, stuff. That sound is what I think about when I think about classic rock.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. I think about a lot of like classic rock from like the 60s and 70s. That's classic rock. The 80s, I, with a few exceptions, kind of gloss over. Mm-hmm. And then anything after 1990, I considered new stuff.
Yeah.
Even though I was only born in 86.
Yeah.
It's just the way that's the way I've organized it in my head.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you think of like Generation X and the attitude of Generation X, it's weird to think about that they would let their music become classic rock. You know what I mean? Like, just
people are becoming nostalgic younger.
Yeah.
People are getting nostalgic for things they did just last year.
There's a huge 90s nostalgia going on right now, which I thought would never happen.
I knew it would happen. I just thought it would take longer.
Yeah, I thought it would be at least 3 or 4 years from now that it would start to happen.
I guess it's that 20-year cycle, actually.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's usually been 20, like back in the 70s. This is the 50s revival. I mean, you had things like Happy Days
in Greece and all that. Yeah.
And then there was an entire garage rock revival in the 80s.
Yeah. And it
was very 60s.
Yeah, around like mid 80s, people started dressing like the 60s, and
narrow ties came back in.
Yeah. So I guess it is a 20-year cycle, but it's weird to think of Green Day's American Idiot as a classic rock song. Mm. I guess it kind of sounds like a classic rock song, but it's not. It still feels too new. I know it came out in 2004, but it still feels too new to be classified as classic rock.
I guess it also depends on the, it's only a 10-year-old song, really.
Yeah,
which is a little odd. But the word classic tends to apply to things that have been they've been around for a while, but people keep going back to them because it's classic. It's just like Led Zeppelin. Like Led Zeppelin never really went away, therefore it's classic. Yeah. Pink Floyd never really went away, therefore it's classic.
Right.
The Beatles. And I guess it's the same thing applies. Like,
yeah, I guess you could make the same argument for like Seven Nation Army could be considered a classic rock song.
I'm sure. If it isn't already, it will be very soon.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It seems a little weird. Maybe it's just me not wanting to get older, but
maybe
it's
that's probably what
it doesn't feel right that songs that came out when I was in high school are now considered classic rock songs.
Yeah, high school doesn't actually seem that long ago.
No.
Even though I've been to college and back, and
even though it was 8 years ago that we were out of high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a strange thing that this is now the era that we're in. But before, like, that was only 10 years ago, 8-10 years ago. Before that, classic rock was at least 20 years old.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So it's weird to think of in those terms as well. It seems like the timeline keeps getting shorter. It seems like maybe that's because people's attention spans keeps getting older, or maybe it's just no new music is coming out that people considered instant classics anymore. I don't know. But anyway, let us know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think the evolution of classic rock is a good thing? Do you consider American Idiot and Seven Nation Army classic rock songs, or do you still think Led Zeppelin and The Who are classic rock? Let us know. They are. Let us know in the comments. Be sure to subscribe so you know when we post new videos. You can check us out on Twitter and Facebook. Follow John on Twitter at Funky Dutch. And you can visit our website, polyphonicpress.com. All those links are in the description, and that's about it. I'm Jeremy Boyd.
I'm John Van Dyke.
Take it easy.